guys, I'm Member. Thank you so much for being here. So today I'm here with another pick a card, urgent messages from your spirit guides. There are 3 piles. The first pile is gold, the second pile is Uranus, and the third pile is sparks of light. The links to the piles will be in the description box below. So take your time. I'm going to give you a few seconds and then we'll get started. Hi, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So today we are doing a pick a card on urgent messages from your spirit guides. Your card was the gold card. We also have the Kiss. We have Sun. We have the Shepherd, which is celebration and family. We have the Cartographer, which is exploration and crossroads. We have Bear Spirit, healing. We have Water Spirit, manifesting dreams. And we have Toadstool's, growth. Okay, so first of all, when I first looked at this, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much orange. And orange signifies usually the sacral chakra, which is everything about your emotions, everything about creativity. And in the book specifically, it talked about gold and the sun being connected. And I think it's really beautiful that you have both of these here. I was looking at this like, wow, this is like really beautiful. Like you've really discovered some deep truth about yourself. I'm hearing confidence, but so since gold and the sun are connected, there's some type of truth that's been illuminated to you or is getting illuminated at this moment, or you're in the process of it being illuminated. And it has to do with something that is, I'm hearing, deeply ingrained within you. Gold is about what we find that makes us beautiful and confident, and everyone has like a different idea of what gold is. Like this will be different for all of you, but there's something that you found. I kept hearing you found something. There's something that you found that is illuminating the truth about you and maybe your value, because I really do think that this is about value and self-worth and confidence. But because I was kind of like, okay, this is beautiful, like this is a beautiful thing, but like usually this doesn't come off. It can come off the backs of something really beautiful, but then when I saw Toadstool's growth, that card talks about, I'm hearing the disowned self, but it talks about growing through really difficult and challenging circumstances. Now we have the Bear Spirit with healing. You could have been, or maybe are still in, a period of hibernation of some type of, maybe, I'm seeing the Hermit now, which is Virgo energy. And the Hermit is about kind of turning inward and going within and finding oneself through self-reflection and just really figuring out oneself through analyzing oneself and going deep within to find the light within you. And since we have gold, the sun, and the Kiss, I think that there's something that you're really figuring out about your worth and how maybe how you react. I'm seeing like how you're reacting to other people or how other people are reacting to you. You could have been there's something about a relationship here. I was getting that earlier. You could have been in a period of confusion or are still in a period of confusion over somebody. And I pulled a few cards on it and I got, it was like a Queen of Wands in reverse type of energy, which to me is a person that doesn't have a lot of boundaries, could be emotionally manipulative. What else? It uses their confidence in a way that isn't of the light. It's more like a tool. I don't know why this is coming through. I was feeling that. So I don't know if some of you, okay, so we have crossroads. So there's something about you being at a crossroads and having to make a decision and maybe feeling overwhelmed by that. Why am I getting, I'm getting really, what's the word? Overheated. And I'm feeling anxiety. There could be some anxiety about wherever you are. You may be feeling stuck in some way. You may be feeling like you don't have all the answers yet. But what I love about this is your spirit guides are telling me that you're moving more towards what you think. What am I saying? You're moving more towards progress or more towards your end goal quicker than you think. Like you're getting there quicker than you think. And there's a lot of healing that's happening. I'm seeing a purification of your energy and specifically your sacral chakra. And we do have some purple, so it could be connected to your third eye as well. There is manifesting dreams here, and I don't know, I kind of feel like you could have had a difficult time manifesting lately, or maybe have felt blocked in some way from manifesting what you really want in the 3D. It's like, I kind of feel like you can see what you want, and you feel like you can see what you want. It's just hard maybe to take the steps to get there, or to know what step to take to get to be able to manifest your vision of what you're seeing in your head into the 3D. And I don't know if you've been feeling really frustrated. I'm feeling like an insecurity and a frustration and a seeking kind of a seeking. Now, we had the shepherd, and it talks about family and being a leader. Some of you could be dealing with family dynamics that are causing you to feel triggered in some way. Some of you could be dealing with a relationship that is causing you to feel triggered and to make you feel confused, because we did have the 7 of Cups and the 2 of Wands, and it's also causing anxiety because we do have the Knight of Swords. I'm sorry, I didn't even show you these cards, but I was gonna like re-pull and see if I got these cards again, you know, because I tried to do the tarot like on like, because I don't do this part on just because it's so hard to set up the cards, but I'm getting that either a family situation, a relationship is causing you to be triggered in some way. So you could be dealing with people around you that are causing you to feel defensive or protective of yourself in some way. And it's bringing up a lot of stuff in you. And I think that it could be causing the confusion around your vision on how to manifest or how to make your vision come true. There is this feeling of like, okay, I think what you're figuring out is maybe how your insecurity was not even something that you felt within yourself, but others projected onto you. And you may have taken that in and internalized it in some way. That's what I'm hearing Spirit Guide say. May have internalized it in some way. And you're now seeing maybe that that's not true. Like there's like, what I'm seeing the most is that there are beliefs that you are breaking down that don't feel true to you anymore. And I think that's what this gold and this sun card's about. The sun is about truth, illumination, joy. It's about seeing everything with the most clear light. And we have so much gold and so much yellow in these cards. So there is some type of truth or some illumination of some type about yourself that maybe is helping you see yourself with a more compassionate light, like in a more held way. I think what the spirit guides really want me to tell you is that you're farther along than you think. You've had to do a lot. There's been a lot of growing pains, and it may have taken a long time to get to this point, but you're getting there quicker than you think. And you're also discovering something about yourself, specifically about yourself, that is illuminating the actual truth of what is, right? Because when we're met with people that make us feel insecure about ourselves, because usually they're projecting of some type, and it's not true. I'm losing my train of thought again. Excuse me. What was I saying? When people project onto us, and that can create a lot of internal pain and insecurity. And I think that you've been breaking down through this process a lot of maybe childhood trauma is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Value, self-worth. It specifically has to come down with confidence, value, and self-worth that you are, I'm hearing unpeeling. So like there's like a unpeeling process. I don't know why that word's coming there. Unpeeling process that's happening for you. You're really trying to come into your own. And I do feel like you may be feeling pressure of some type, maybe to show up or to be a certain way. And you may not be fitting in that box anymore that people are putting you into. And that could be causing a lot of growing pains within you. But I do think that through this process, you're finding more compassion for yourself, which I think is the entire goal. Like the more we can be compassionate with ourselves and the more we can not judge and not pressure ourselves and not doubt ourselves, the more we're going to be able to see what we want to manifest. And and how we want to live and how we want to be treated. And I think that you've been treated maybe in your, I'm feeling like it's childhood too, but for some of you it doesn't have to be. But there's been this like feeling like you're not being treated with value or in the way that you would like or the way that you feel like you deserve. And I'm not talking about like in an inflated way. I'm talking about in a very like healthy way. Okay, I do want to see what's going on with the tarot because I do feel like I'm getting a little bit off. Okay, we got the Wheel of Fortune. I need to take a deep breath. There's something else too here about going really hard, like pushing yourself really hard or pushing yourself to show up when you want to rest. Like the Bear is about like rest and hibernation and isolation. Maybe not isolation as much, but it's about healing through rest and healing through self-awareness, right? And I feel like maybe you've been pushing yourself for quite a long time, and some of you may be feeling like because you've been pushing yourself so hard that it's almost like I'm seeing like, okay, you push yourself super, super hard for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you have to like take 2 weeks off because it's like so much that you've been doing. You know what I mean? And there's something about you pulling back and really going inward and healing something so that you don't have to keep writing yourself. Like I'm just seeing like a writing, like I have to show up, I have to be here, I have so many responsibilities, like this is a lot, like I always have to show up and I'm burnt out and I'm tired and this is hard. And like I think that what the spirit guides want to do is keep helping you find the balance. I'm seeing the Justice card, helping you find the balance within yourself so that you can show up externally in a way that really honors yourself. So you may be learning how to say no. You may be learning how to pull your energy back from certain relationships. There's a lot of change happening. The Wheel of Fortune is literally all about change. The World came out, but it came out sideways. So there is a cycle that so the World upright is closing a cycle, really ending a cycle. It's like, it's a really long cycle. You're closing it. Now, if it was reversed, it would be not resisting closing a cycle, right? So you're sideways. So it kind of cancels out both of them. But there is a cycle, and I think that maybe what the crossroads is you deciding on if you want to close this cycle or not, and what you want to take with you to the next phase of your journey. Because I feel like you're in a transition phase, because the World sideways definitely, like, to me screams transition, right? So you're not fully ending the cycle, but you're not fully starting the next cycle either, right? So I just feel like there could be a lot of overwhelm with how much change is happening around you. Okay, and I do want to say that like we're in a really weird time astrologically, and everyone's feeling like a lot of uncertainty because Neptune is in Aries, and Neptune is not exalted in Aries, and I think that there's just like a lot of fog right now, and so it's making things feel really uncertain. So if you're feeling like, I'm just saying, like, astrologically, this is affecting a lot of people, and I mean, like, most people, and I think that it's like, can you be okay with the uncertainty? Can you be okay with not knowing things sometimes, right? And I think it's like giving yourself permission to not just take a step back, but to really take care of yourself and give yourself permission to feel uncertain about things, right? And you are at a crossroads, and I hate being at crossroads. They're really difficult to like manage, and like for me personally, they're really difficult for me. And I think that maybe you're dealing with some of that like difficulty of like, I don't want to, it's so hard to like, especially if you're not feeling totally sure about where you want to go, it's really hard to make a decision, right? On where you want to go. And I think that you're like in the process of figuring it out. And I think it's like, okay, the spirit guides want you to give yourself time to figure this out. King of Swords is coming out on the Sun. So interesting. So you may be, yep, I knew Two of Swords was going to kind of come out. And of course it's going to go over, I was thinking it was going to go over the cartographer. Okay. Okay. The Sun over the King of Swords is illuminating maybe your boundaries, illuminating truths that you are really coming to terms with. And the Two of Swords is here. So you're feeling indecisive. What are you feeling indecisive about? Let's just get a little bit more information. I'm sure you already know. Ace of Wands. I mean, to take a new beginning or not, to take a chance on a new beginning, maybe to leave. What do you, okay, I do feel like you're leaving something behind. I feel like you're, again, in the transition stage of leaving something behind and stepping into something new. And I think that that's because, like, okay, anytime you're at a crossroads, there's going to be so much uncertainty just regardless. And now we're in uncertain times. And I think uncertainty is probably one of the words that I would say about this reading, because I just felt so uncertain about the things that I was saying and like not really knowing like how to, you know, explain myself in some way. And maybe there is something that you need to say to somebody that you really don't know how to say it, because that's coming through too. Okay, what is this about? What is the Two of Swords about? Two of Wands. Planning a new beginning. I do feel like this is where the steps coming in is making things confusing. Three of Wands about on the horizon, figuring out what you want to, sorry about the cards, figuring out what you want to do, how to take a step to move into the next phase, and you're looking right ahead of you and you're wondering, how do I do that, right? So how do they do that, spirit guides? What's the advice? Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay. We have 10 of Wands. So this to me is saying that you've taken on too much. You are overwhelmed. 10 of Wands is like the most overwhelmed you could feel. Just trying to hold everything together and just feeling like, okay, like how do I, like, look at this person, like they're holding all these sticks and they're like, okay, I've got so many things. I've got so much in my hands. And it's like, how do I take some of these sticks and put them down, right? And I think the advice for what spirit guides are trying to tell me is that, how do you fill your own cup? Are you filling your own cup before you fill other people's? And I would get that maybe that's what you're learning about. Like, wow, I've been really overgiving in this area of my life, or I've been really pushing myself so hard and I need to heal. Like, to heal, we need to be able to like let go and surrender. And I think that what spirit guides really want you to do is not stop thinking so much, right? Because the mind is very alive and well. Try not to think so much, which I know is easier said than done. Pour into you. If you feel, okay, this is coming through. So spirit guides want me to tell you, like, okay, when you first are asked a question by someone to do something for them, spirit guides want you to take a second before you answer and literally feel in your body. What does it feel like in your body? Does it feel like a yes or does it feel like a no? And if you're getting a stomach ache and you're going, oh, I don't really want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? Don't do it. Say no. Because I think that that's part of the issue, right? It's like overdoing oneself. And I deal with this too. There's no judgment. Overdoing oneself to help others because that's who you are, right? That's what I'm getting. That's who you are. Someone that really like puts other people before themselves and will run themselves down. But it's like, that's, I'm hearing it's keeping you stuck, right? I'm hearing it's one of the challenges that you're dealing with in what's helping you, right? Or not what's helping you, what's hindering you from being able to move forward. Maybe you're wondering about how to take someone with you or if they can come with you, or maybe you're wondering about how to keep a relationship and do a job at the same time. Maybe it's just too much. Maybe you have to sacrifice some things. And I think that we're all in, like, a lot of us are being asked to sacrifice some things, and it's not an easy thing to do, especially for someone like me where you like hold on until like everything's falling apart, because that's what I do, or what I used to do. I don't do it as much anymore, but that's not the point. The point is that spirit guides want you to focus on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself permission to feel uncertain. Give yourself permission to just focus on today in this moment, and also to just focus on what is the next indicated step that I need to do to make my dreams come true. And if you have to let something go, surrendering what you need to let go to make room for what you want, right? Because I do feel like there's something that you don't want to do anymore. I don't know if it's a job, I don't know if it's a relationship, I don't know if it's a thought form. There's something that you want to let go of, and it's really hard to let go of it, but it's causing you to feel super overwhelmed, super overburdened. For some of you, this could be just a job that's just like too much. It's just too much. There's too much responsibility. You're not getting paid enough. Or you're in a relationship, there's too much, you have to do too much, you're not getting what you want in return. There's something about not being valued and not getting not getting accurately compensated for the work that you're putting in, and you're putting so much work in. That's what the 10 of Wands is. You're putting in so much work. But are you getting what you need back, and are you filling your own cup first? Okay, that was the message from spirit guides. Now I want to get more advice from the Moonology cards. Is there anything else you want me to say? You're way farther ahead than you think, and there is, again, I do want to say this again. There's a deep truth that you're realizing about yourself that is helping you through this. You're really strong. You are resilient. You will make it through this. It just may seem very difficult and very complicated, and that's okay. It's going to work itself out. And I think that just like giving yourself permission to be like, okay, it's going to work itself out. Like, I'm not going to have to try. I don't want to try to figure everything out anymore. Like, just figure out the next indicated step, because the overwhelm is not helping you. It's hindering you from being able to see even what the next step is. So it's like, how can you lessen the overwhelm? How can you stop giving to others and just give to yourself? How do you give yourself permission to heal, to go inward, to take some time? Because I do feel like you need to take some time for some reason. Okay, I need some advice, spirit guides. Ooh, of course that's gonna fall on the floor. Hold on one second. Okay. We've got new moon in Libra, know you are loved. That's another thing. The spirit guides do want me to, I felt this too. It's like, you are so cherished and so loved and so beautiful, and you have such value. And the spirit guides, your spirit guides and spirit guides in general, want you, and spirit wants you to be in a space with people where you know you are loved, where you know you are not being taken advantage of, where you know that you are in alignment, right? Because when you're out of alignment, you're going to consistently be thinking about, like, why am I still in this? Why am I still doing this? Why do I still keep putting myself in this position? Why do I still keep giving when I really want to not? Like, why do I keep doing this? And then, like, also to really question that, like, where in my childhood did I push myself beyond my own limits? Because I think that's something else here too. It's like, this is a learned thing. Like, not being able to say no and people pleasing and pushing yourself to beyond your limits is a trauma response, right? And one of the ways to heal that is to really bring compassion and light, the sun, to where you overdid yourself and why. Because once you see why you were overdoing yourself when you were a child, and like what the dynamics were and how they were playing out, it will help you see why your current circumstances are the way that they are. Okay. We also have reveal what needs to be seen. Last quarter moon in Scorpio. I think that's what's happening. I think you're coming to a truth, but it's a really hard truth. I think there's something really beautiful about this truth, but there's also something really hard about this too. It's like, maybe you're in a relationship you don't feel happy in. That's a hard truth, right? But it also is liberating in some way as well, because you can take yourself, once you realize that, right, you can take yourself out of it. It's just an example. Anything else? One more card. You're doing so much better than you think you are. And I think that you should just tell yourself that every day. Like, I'm doing so much better than I think I am. I'm healing. I'm moving through this. This is going to work itself out. Everything's going to be okay. We have take inspired action. Full moon in Virgo. You are a leader. This is what I'm feeling. You are a leader. And when you are a leader, when you are the person that you are in a leader and leading in a role model way. I don't know if it's a job or whatever, but I do feel like it's just in general. Like, you're a leader in a role model way. You are really looking at healing and trying to get yourself in alignment to be able to lead. And I think there's something that you want to do or something you want to implement that is really beautiful. And I do want to say, you don't have to be fully healed to do this, okay? Like, no one's fully healed. And sometimes our best moments are when we're in the midst of healing, because we can take that and help somebody else. And I think there's something about taking inspired action. Even if you don't feel totally healed, even if you feel doubtful, you can do whatever you want to do. It's just trusting and believing in yourself and trusting that spirit has your back, because they do. And you are loved. Okay, Pile One, you're doing so good. Okay, guys, I think that's all I have for you. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pal 2. Welcome to your reading. So today we have a pick a card on urgent messages from spirit guides, and you picked Pal 2, which is Uranus. And we also have the gem, Chiron, the brawler, lack of empathy and confrontation. We have the air, unseen potential and hesitation. We have Mabel spirit, generosity, dragon spirit, change, dragonfly spirit, change, and earth spirit, stability. I'm getting caught up all over my words. Okay. So this is so big. Like, I can't even tell you. I was sitting with this for like 20 minutes, and I was like, wow, this is really big. you may not feel, I mean, okay, I think that you do or are kind of feeling how big what you're going through is and how much it's changing you. There's something that like I'm seeing like such deep change in you, and you may not be like, you may be doubting or feeling hesitation, but I do think that's from your wounds. So I want to get into something first. Okay, so you're seeing, and okay, I don't know why I'm like stumbling all over my words. Okay, so you are super resilient, okay? There is a fighter spirit, a rebellious spirit in you. You have not given up no matter how hard things have gotten. And I think that's what the spirit guides want me to like, your spirit guides want me to really emphasize is like how much you have fought to get to this point. And you have not given up at all on yourself. And I think that through what you've been through, it has almost been impossible to do that. And I know that Spirit wants me to honor that, first of all, like how much you've had to fight to get to where you are and how hard it's been, because it has been really hard. And I think that, so Chiron, right? Chiron is the wounded healer. It's like where our deepest wounds are from childhood, from past lives. And it's literally pointing to the brawler, which is lack of empathy and confrontation. So your wounds may revolve around people that have treated you with a lack of empathy, have confronted you, have been really hard on you, have pressured you, have criticized you, have made you feel like you were less than. And you've really had to dig deep in figuring out like the complexity of your wounds, because I do feel like this pile has a complexity of wounds. And I'm talking like it's super complex. Like I'm seeing, like, okay, you see this gem card? You see all this stuff around this gem card? It's like that. Like that's how many, like, okay, so my therapist used to explain it to me like this. We did EMDR, which is like a therapy. And it's basically you go into your subconscious and you target a memory and you like see where it goes to heal it, right? And she talked about how in the brain, in the subconscious, we create patterns, right? So like, okay, how am I explain this like as an example? Okay, so like a pattern would be like, okay, I feel really unsafe, and this memory is attached to me feeling really unsafe, and then that gets connected to other people or certain dynamics. It's really hard to explain in a way. I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, but I think that you'll know what I'm talking about because you've done quite a lot of digging in, because I don't know why I'm just seeing like the gem is like you're digging out this gem of like through all the trauma and all the wounding, you're like digging out this beautiful gem and this diamond which is within you that was maybe covered by a lot of wounding. And again, that wounding comes back to the lack of empathy and confrontation card. The brawler. I mean, you got to think about like the brawler is someone who's aggressive, who really comes after you for your maybe your value, or you know, and it's all usually projection. Like this is not usually like based in any kind of truth. It's usually based in like them feeling really bad about themselves, so they like project it onto you and make you feel bad because you're a light, right? And that light is that gem that's here in this card. I don't know if you're in a situation right now where you're feeling pretty hesitant about moving forward in some way, but only because of this wounding that you have. And I think that what you're doing, like you're in a process of doing, is clearing out so much wounding. Like I'm just getting it so much. So I think it was either the gem or the Uranus card, but they talked about Prometheus, and Prometheus is a god that, so basically with all the gods, there was Zeus and all the gods, and they all had fire, but humans did not have fire. And fire is representative of not just literal fire, but awakening, truth, brilliance, knowledge, right? The ability to see things clearly, the ability to move forward, right? So Prometheus decided to steal fire from Zeus and the gods to give to humanity out of compassion. Now Zeus was really upset and pissed off about this, and Zeus decided to punish Prometheus by chaining him to a rock for all of eternity. And when he was chained to this rock, an eagle would come and eat his liver every night, and every night his liver would again regenerate. Then Hercules went and rescued him eventually, which most people don't know. which I didn't know. I knew about Prometheus and the chained rock, but I really wanted to like look up the story. And it was about Prometheus. He knew that he would get punished, and he decided to be rebellious anyways. And he only decided to be rebellious to help humanity, to help serve humanity, and help bring enlightenment to humanity so that they could have a better chance. And I think that you've had to really kind of do something similar. I know maybe it sounds cliche. I don't think it does. It was really deep the way I was getting it, that you were kind of Prometheus and you stole this fire, and you know, you're going against the status quo, and you're rebelling, and you're different, and you've always been different, right? And there's just so beautiful, like, and I think you've been wounded through that too, right? Like, awakening is never an easy thing. It's always really painful because you're seeing the truth about yourself, and you're seeing the truth about your wounds, and you're really looking into it. And it takes a lot of compassion, patience, and forgiveness to get to the point where you are able to look at your wounds and not feel like bad about yourself or beat yourself up. And I'm not saying that those things are totally gone for you, because I don't think that they are. I don't think that they ever really are, but that's not the point. The point is that you've had to work really hard to get here. You may have had to deal with certain relationships and situations that have caused you, I know you have in childhood or in the past, but there could be a current situation that is bringing up a lot of childhood wounding in you. That is making you hesitate on taking the next step. But I also think that through this process, you are learning about like how beautiful you are, how valuable you are, how different you are, how much of a diamond in the rough you are. Like this gem to me is just like you know? It's really you. It's the core of you. It's everything. It's all your colors. It's all of the beauty of you. And I just think that you've had, again, I think you're in the middle of going through some deep wounding, and it may feel very freaking hard, scary, challenging, painful. You may be dealing with grief. And I think mostly you're dealing with doubt. And I think the doubt is tied to this wounding, which is, again, given to you by other people. And I think that you're really, maybe, I'm seeing the Judgment card. So you're really breaking down, like, okay, what is my wounding? Why is it being activated? Where does it come from? How do I heal it? What do I need to do? Like, I'm getting a really, like, what do I got to do to, like, to get to a better place, right? Because you are a really beautiful person. And, like, I'm really just getting it so strongly. Like, I think that the urgent messages is just to, like, tell you how amazing you are, but also to honor how hard you've been working through whatever process that you've been in. And I know it's different for all of you, but you've been working really hard. You may be dealing with themes of, if you're attracted to pile 1, I would go watch that, but I definitely get that it's very different. But if you are attracted to pile 1, there could be an element of that in here for you, because I am seeing a little bit of a similar theme of where you may be really generous with others and are maybe learning about how to pull back and take care of yourself first and create stability for yourself. But I do feel like there's a lot of conflicting things going on. We got stability and we got change. And those things to me, you can be stable during change, but I do get that maybe you're learning about how to be stable through the changes that are happening. And again, it's not easy. You may be focusing on how your wounding is keeping you back, how your wounding is keeping you stuck. Now, I think it's taking you away from looking at how far you've come. And I think that what the urgent message here is that you need to see how far you've come. You are Prometheus, like you really are. You stole the fire from the gods to help yourself and help humanity. And you may feel like you've been punished for that in some sort, for some reason. I definitely would go look it up, because I think that there is much more deeper messages within the story that you can find for yourself that would be helpful. Uranus, Uranus is usually like a strike of brilliance, a strike of inspiration, not ever really long lasting, but it does come in. I mean, it's like a lightning strike, right? We see a lightning strike of color. And maybe that is, it's like, maybe it's divine intervention into helping you see who you truly are. Because I feel like you have come so far. And I think that that's what Spirit really wants to point you to, because I think that maybe you've been looking at this part right here, this unseen potential or unseen, hesitation, unseen potential, the lack of empathy and confrontation, and your wounding. I think that is taking up maybe a lot of your focus, right? And it's okay that it is, because you're breaking it down and you're learning about it and you're healing from it, right? But I also think that focusing on how hard you've worked, how hard this has been, who you really are, like as a divine soul being, like who you really are as a person deep down, like not what other people say you are. Like, I think you know deep down that you are a very beautiful person, that you have a kind heart, that you have I'm hearing an open soul, but it really, you have a lot to offer. And I think that this wounding is telling you that you don't, and this wounding is telling you that you're not going to make it. And that's not true. And I think that you may be just, again, breaking down this wounding and being like, okay, is this actually true? Like, do I actually not feel like I can do this? Or is it just fear and doubt from my past, which is coming up, right? Because I do feel like you could be feeling pretty triggered. I also want to say that the uncertainty that you're feeling, like we are all of us, every single one of us are in a really uncertain time in astrologically, because we have Neptune in Aries, and Neptune in Aries is never exalted, and it's a really weird placement for everybody, and it just is. And Saturn is in Aries too, and Saturn's just it's a hard placement for both of them. And so there is this big amount of uncertainty that we're all dealing with, and we've not really ever been here in humanity, I think, before astrologically. We've never had these planets go this way. We've never been in this time, of course, right? But I think it's just like an extra, like, if things are feeling uncertain, can you be okay with uncertainty? And I think that maybe that's what you've been learning, right? How to move with uncertainty, how to move when you have doubts, how to move when you feel like you don't know what you're doing, how to still show up, how to still be responsible. And I know that you already do that, but I do again think that the vision of yourself is changing, right? You could have been looking at yourself through a lens that was quite wounded, right? And through all of what you've been doing, this whole process, and I don't think this has been easy or this has been short. I think this has been a very long process for you of really getting to know yourself and really working through all of the stuff. I think you had a lot of stuff come up for you recently, or just in the past few years, I would say. A lot of stuff that's being brought up. And I think it's because you're really awakening to the truth of who you are. And the way that wounding works, right? If we can heal it and we can look at it and we can come to terms with it, right? And acceptance and surrender and being like, you know what? I have some things about me that I would like to change, and I'm on my way to doing that. And like not being so hard on yourself and not pressuring yourself so hard to be perfect. Because I do think that there's an element here of perfectionism that you may be also breaking down. You're so much farther than you think you are. Like, I really genuinely do want to say that. You're learning about self-worth. You're learning about taking a chance on yourself and seeing yourself in a new light. Like, this is like seeing yourself through a light of all the worth that you can, all the value that you can, all the confidence that you can, and really seeing how much you have to offer. Because I do feel like you have so much to offer, and you could have been offering it to people that didn't deserve it, or you could have been putting your energy in places where you were like, why does this not feel right? Like, why does this not feel like it's in alignment with me? Or why am I feeling like I'm confused? Or why am I feeling like this is not like computing in some way? And it may be because you were putting energy into things that weren't maybe aligned with you, right? And because of the wounding, right? Wounding can confuse us on what our actual values are. Wounding can make us not see the truth of ourselves. Wounding can keep us held back because we're so afraid. And I think that by bringing compassion, patience, and light to the issues and really looking at it with a lens, because I think this is what you're doing. It's like really looking at it with a lens of like, why did I do that? Oh, I did that because of this, right? And like, that makes sense. And can I have compassion for myself for that? Yes, like I can, right? And I think it's also like realizing the truth about like who you really are. Again, I just keep going back to that, like the truth of who you really are before the conditioning, before the wounding, before, or even during the wounding, right? Like, I think you're a lot harder on yourself than anyone else, but I think you're a lot harder on yourself than definitely is deserved. And I think that the being hard on yourself may have been a wound, and yeah, being hard on yourself may have been a wound, and you thinking like, okay, if I'm just hard on myself enough, then maybe I can change myself, right? And I think that you're learning about like that's not the way to go. It's really about loving yourself that helps you move forward. It's really about accepting yourself that helps you move forward. It's really about getting out of all the crazy thoughts that are telling you all these things that you're like, why am I telling myself that, right? Like, it's getting out of that mindset. It's really getting connected to your heart. Like, really getting connected to your heart, and like, again, it keeps coming through, the truth of who you are. Okay. Anything else, or anything else? What do you need me to see? What else do you want me to? What other urgent messages do you want me to tell them, spirit guides? 3 of Wands. Okay, so you're looking on the horizon. Yeah. Okay. So what I love about the 3 of Wands going over the Uranus card, this to me really talks about, okay, like if you're feeling like you need a leg up, or if you're feeling like you need some inspiration or truth or something, like some brilliance, like you need something, right? Spirit is telling me that on the horizon, you're going to get a Uranus type of situation happening to you, which is like, you'll feel inspired, or like healing will complete in some way, or you'll be purified in some way, and you'll understand it better. There's something about, I'm seeing it like as like a light, like coming through, and like I'm seeing it right you in some way. Like, it feels like an answer. That's what it feels like to me. An answer, a truth, an understanding of something. And I think the understanding is about you. And really, like, I think that there's something here that you're majorly healing that is really way bigger, I think, than you think it is. And I think that you haven't really seen it. And I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that, so like, okay, healing works like this, right? For a long time, you're going to really like go into it and try to work on it. And you're going to still be dealing with the issues that you're going to be dealing with. And you're still going to be like, okay, why is this not working? I'm doing all this healing. Nothing seems to be changing. Why is this not working, right? But like over time, healing happens over time, right? But it's never like in one shot, right? Like healing is like it's a very slow process. Healing is a very slow process. It's not quick. It doesn't happen just like right away. It doesn't happen like that usually. It can, but it doesn't usually happen that way. And I think that you've been on a long, long journey of healing. And I think that it's been really hard to move through this, and you are getting to an easier part. And I think that there's going to be an illumination of how much you've actually healed. I don't think you've seen even a quarter of how much you've healed. And it may feel like it's, getting this, like it's going to feel like the healing happens in 1 minute, but you've been doing this for a very long time, right? And so it's just like, finally, you're going to get that brilliant, awakening kind of like understanding, and like real like, okay, wow, like I've come super far. Like, wow, like this is super big for me. Like I'm really, really proud of myself. Like this is so big. And I think the urgent message from spirit guides is like realizing that now, like realize that now, like realize that like you have been healing, you have been processing, you have been trying so hard, you've been fighting, you've been resilient, you've been rebellious, you've been going against the status quo, you've been fighting for yourself, you've been fighting for others. You may have been fighting for relationships in some way, maybe relationships that don't work for you. And maybe you're going to realize, okay, I don't want to fight for this anymore. Or I do want to fight for that. Or I don't want to, it's like everything is changing. And I think that finding stability during this change is going to be the most helpful. It's like, okay, when everything externally is out of control, do you have the internal stability to keep yourself on, like to keep yourself okay, right? And I think that is the goal of healing, right? It's like creating an internal world that is safe and peaceful and calm and loving. And when you have things come up, you meet it with compassion and curiosity and acceptance. And because you've created a safety and stability within yourself, it doesn't matter what is externally going on. You could have been in a place with your wounding before where you were looking to an external source or external sources to help you feel safe. This whole process might have been about you not looking externally anymore for safety and actually creating that safety within yourself, which again is not easy. It's not an easy thing. It's so hard. But again, I think that may be what this brilliance of that's coming in. It's like that realization, like, wow, I actually feel safe inside myself, maybe for the first time, or maybe I'm feeling like way more safe inside myself than I ever have been, or maybe I feel like I have more control in my body and in myself. There's like an embodiment happening. And I think that that's what's coming in for you. Okay. I totally went off on a tangent right there. Okay. Let's see what else. Ooh, the devil came out and just totally, hold on one second. Ouch, I just hit my head. The devil. Okay, I didn't know if it was going to be in reverse or not, but I don't know how I picked it up. It looked sideways to me. Yeah, the devil. I was feeling that, like with the Chiron and the devil. Okay, so can I see? I want to see what this devil is. I don't know if this devil is you, to be honest with you. 7 of Wands. Okay, so the devil is. I don't know if it's bad here. Hold on. Can I see what this devil's about? Can I see a little bit more? 9 of Wands. Yeah, you've been going so long. For just so long. What is this devil about? Queen of Cups. Your emotions in some way? What's this devil about? Knight of Wands. Interesting. Two of Cups. Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is this another person? I'm like, is this another person? Is this a relationship? Because I was feeling that a little bit. Okay. So the devil is the things that are negative coping mechanisms. It can be codependency. It can be addictions. It can be anything that has to do with the 3D world. So there is a relationship that you could have had where you were consistently either overgiving. Yeah, I feel like it's overgiving. I feel like some of you are overgiving in a relationship, or just around people that weren't really valuing you, or working. Okay, I feel like this is so many things. This could be you overgiving in a relationship that was like a coping mechanism, and you thought it was the real thing, right? A coping mechanism, you thought it was the real thing, but then you were realizing like it was born out of a place of wounding, right? And maybe that's what you've been processing through, and that's what's been helping you get connected to this childhood trauma. Because I do feel like there is childhood trauma here at play, definitely. This could have really affected you emotionally is what I'm getting. Yeah, I'm seeing the Lovers and the 2 of Pentacles that's Gemini energy, and we have Devil, which is Capricorn energy. Okay. Someone around you could have been in devil energy. That is here. I am getting that. For some of you, there is somebody that's around you that has been in the Knight of Wands. Okay, so what's Knight of Wands? Knight of Wands is someone who maybe uses sex as a coping mechanism, right? And maybe, okay, like I'm just going to give you an example. So someone was using, I can't where I'm going with this. Okay, so someone's in the Knight of Wands energy, using it in a way that was a coping mechanism. You may have thought that this relationship, I'm just giving you an example. You may have thought that this relationship was like love, like 2 of Cups, right? But really it was being handled in a way that it was more codependent. It could have been both of you, right? And I think that some of you are maybe in the middle of like really getting connected to like the wounding of what this relationship has brought up in you. And some of you could be thinking about walking away from this. Okay, I need a little bit more clarity, I feel like. Hold on. The Fountain, I like that. That's really beautiful. The Fountain over the Devil. I'm getting this like, okay, some of you could have been giving 2 negative coping mechanisms to help you regulate, okay? Like this is not a judgment, right? We all have this tendency to do this. We have devil eras. Some of us have more devil eras than other eras, or more devil eras than other people, right? And the devil is, again, negative coping mechanisms, addictions, can be codependency in relationships, can be overgiving, anything to where you are giving your external, again, this is where it comes back to, external power over to something else outside of you for safety, okay? That's what I was getting as a generalization for everybody. There may be a place where you were giving your power away to an external source to help you keep you safe, okay? Now, that may be what you are looking into. Like, why am I giving to this? Or why am I acquiescing in this way? Or why am I continuing a relationship that I really don't feel aligned with, right? Now, the Fountain to me is really screaming right now like Ace of Cups. I don't know why. Ace of Cups and the Fountain, specifically the Fountain, is about miracles, divine intervention, overflowing of water, right? And an overflowing of water is like, okay, I'm seeing it as like you were once giving to this thing or are still maybe a little bit giving to this thing. Again, no judgment. You are learning about how to love yourself, okay? And learning about how to love yourself is learning about how to give to yourself. Some of this could be work for some of you, could have been overgiving in a work situation and just grinding yourself down. Again, that's pile one. Like pile one was about that too. Like overgiving and like on the, like running so hard and just like keep going and keep going and keep going. And then like eventually you get to this point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. I can't keep this up. Like it's just too much. And I think that there is an element of that giving in some way, right? Now, you're learning about how to give yourself real relief and real safety and do it internally. Again, I do think this is tied to your wounding. I mean, it's so beautiful actually, because you're really transcending the devil. The only cards that I feel like transcend the devil are, I got the Hermit and the Magician on the bottom of the deck. They say that it's only strength, which is Leo energy, that can overcome the devil, but I don't agree. I think the Fountain definitely can overcome it, and the Hermit too. Because anything that gives us a sense of actual love and peace and alignment, right? To me, this is also screaming alignment. Okay. You could have been learning about how when you make one decision, how that feels in your body. Does it feel in alignment or not? You could have realized that you were really feeling out of alignment with a certain situation in your life. Like, I'm giving too much to this. This is not, like, there's something wonky about this. It will feel off to you, okay? Now, you're learning about how to take the energy back from this external thing, whatever it is, and learning about how to give it to yourself. And I think that that's causing a huge awakening within you. Like, I really do. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, there's an illumination of your confusion and why you've been confused. So the Sun is about illumination, truth, understanding. And Seven of Cups is about confusion. You're learning about why you've been confused. And the wounding, again, wounding creates confusion. Wounding creates the devil, like it really does. Wounding will really attach to like a relationship, right? To make you feel safe, right? Or wounding will really attach to a job that feels stable because it's externally making you feel stable. So then internally you're like, oh, I'm okay, right? And again, this whole process has been about you internally figuring out how to make yourself feel safe and pulling away from the things that externally say that they make you feel safe, but they actually take away your power. The devil will always take away your power, okay? I think that's why this is so huge, because you're overcoming the devil. And most people can't do that. Most people have a very difficult time pulling away from a toxic relationship, pulling away from a toxic work environment, pulling away from like even going after a job just because of the money instead of how it makes you, how you feel your purpose. And I do feel like whatever the situation is leading you to your purpose. Like you could have, or you can and are, I think, realizing your purpose through the situation, whatever this is. And it's, again, this has been really hard. It's not been easy. You've probably been confused and scared and feeling really unsafe. I'm getting this feeling of like just really feeling unsafe for quite a long time, and maybe not feeling unsafe totally, but like, again, taking, like, depending on external places to make you feel safer, when really they are in some way taking away your power because you're giving it away, right? And I think that this whole process has been about you taking your power back, and you are doing that. Again, I think one of the urgent messages is like, you are doing this. Like, this is confirmation that this is what's been happening. Okay, I'm gonna get advice and then we will wrap up. Okay. Focus on the positive. New moon in Sagittarius. I was saying that, like, you're focused on your wounding so much that I think Spirit wants to bring you back. Like focus on, like, look how far you're going. Like, look at where you're going. Look at how much you're overcoming. Like, you made, I don't know why I'm seeing this as like an eclipse for some reason, even though it's not. You could have had like an obscured vision. And I think that you're peeling the darkness off of your eyes. Like, you're peeling the, like, yeah, I always call it like dark colored glasses instead of rose colored glasses, because wounding can make us see the world and ourselves through a lens that is like not of the light, or not actually the truth. And I think that that's what you've been learning about. Like, this is not actually the truth of me, you know? And what is the truth of you? Okay, last quarter, moon in Gemini, clear your mind. Yeah, I do feel like the thoughts could probably be very strong. And we've got first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. And first quarter, I can't speak right now. First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. Yeah, push through any insecurity. Like, you are pushing through your insecurities and you are stepping into your power. That's what's happening. Just keep going. You're on the way. Like, you're doing so good. This is huge, Palti. Like, I cannot even tell you how huge this is. I am so, so proud of you. And Also, we have trust the universe and cool your emotions. But I do think trust the universe. It's like trust in and have faith that because you're doing the work, you are overcoming this. You really are, Pal 2. Like, I can't even tell you. You're doing so good. Please keep going. Keep having faith in yourself, and please be kind to yourself, okay? Do not doubt yourself. You've got this. Like, you really do. You've got this. Okay, Pal 2, thank you so much for being here. I think that's all I have for you, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to your reading. So today I'm here with a pick a card for urgent messages from your spirit guides, and you picked Sparks of Light. We also have the Self, Conjunction, the Wise One, which is Tradition and Order, the Assassin, which is Ruthlessness and Conviction. We have Rainbow, Waterfall, Miracles, Meandering Pathway, Flow, and Bear Spirit, Healing. Okay, so some of you could have been in a period of darkness in the last however long, or you've just been dealing with a period where you felt like maybe there wasn't a lot of hope, and maybe dealing with a lot of different aspects of you that were coming up to be healed. And I think that it's taken a lot of work to get to where you are. I think you had to consolidate a lot of like these different parts of yourself. So conjunction talks about a meeting of opposites and like black and white coming together, and what else? The sun and the moon coming together. And it talks about a union of opposites. Now, I think that for a lot of you, you may have been dealing with different aspects of you that might have been hard to come together. They may have felt contradicting. You may have had one part of you wanting something and another part of you holding you back from that. Or you may have had a part of you wanting to leave a situation that you really feel like is not in alignment. And then another part of you, like your ego, is telling you like, no, we can't do that. It's too scary. Let's stay here. And I don't know if some of you have had a person around you that has been quite ruthless in their conviction in wanting. I was hearing wanting something from you specifically, wanting your time, your energy, maybe you being a certain way or showing up in a certain way. And I think that you've been pulling back quite a bit, maybe in some of your relationships or in certain situations. You've been looking at, maybe you went into hibernation of some sort to kind of get into a place that you could heal and really self-reflect. And I think that through this self-reflection, you've been coming to understand yourself in a really different way. And maybe you're meeting the parts of you that have been wounded or not seen or afraid with much more compassion and light. And this Miracles card really reminds me of my mom. She died this last year or a year ago, about almost a year ago. And every time I see this card, I always see like rainbows. And so I always like associate that with ancestors. So there could be an ancestor on the other side that's working with you in this time. I also feel like, so the Sparks of Light card talks about hope and when it's super dark, having like sparks of light, right? Like to lead the way out of the darkness, and hope for things that are on the horizon. And I don't know if you were feeling quite hopeless or feeling like things were just not coming together right, or you just couldn't quite maybe change things the way you wanted to, or you weren't like, you were seeing things the way you wanted to see things, but or you were seeing a vision of what you wanted for the future, right? But it was like your present day is not matching that manifestation in some way, right? And I think that you've been in a long process of healing something really deep, healing different aspects of yourself, and really consolidating. Like I'm seeing, like, you see how this it's like all coming into like this into the center. Like you were really consolidating different aspects of you to really create a cohesive whole unit, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. You've gained a lot of wisdom through this, and I think that maybe for some, like I feel like you may have been in a place where flow was very difficult to achieve. Maybe because you were trying to force things or control things, or maybe you were having someone around you trying to force and control things, right? And I think that you're getting into a space now where things are feeling more flow. Like you're able to listen to yourself easier. You're able to understand things deeper. You're able to pull back and really take care of yourself better. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups. So you may have been investing in ways to love yourself more, finding better coping mechanisms, figuring out how to not be so hard on yourself, figuring out how to not criticize yourself, figuring out how to not have to appease others who may be in this assassin type energy, right? I do feel like there is something ending though. Whatever this assassin energy is, that's ending, because the skull is really just like really calling to me. And it's reminding me of the death card. And the death card is about transformation, but it is about endings and how endings create transformations, and you have to go through a transformation to create an ending. I don't know why that came through, but that's what I'm getting. And there is something ending about maybe you accepting bad behavior. I think that there is a piece here where you may have been accepting bad behavior from someone because you have a soft spot for them, or you have a lot of compassion. And I think that that is ending. You're getting to an embodiment of boundaries, I'm hearing, an embodiment of taking care of yourself and really like putting yourself first, because I think that whatever this process was, you may have been putting others before yourself, and you're pulling back and like being like, okay, that's hurting me. Like there is a pain and there's like a pain that is associated around giving so much. Maybe there's a little bit of martyrdom and a little bit of a savior thing happening here too. Not in like a, more like it's like from a wounded space. And I think that through this process, you're learning about how what parts of you need to be heard and seen to be able to integrate into you so that you can really make a full informed decision. Because I don't know if some of you have been at a crossroads for quite a while, or you've been feeling like you don't know where to go next, or you've been feeling quite confused. And I think that you've had to bring a lot of compassion and light to different aspects of yourself for them to feel seen and whole, feel seen and held and whole, so that you can really move forward. Because I think maybe you've been feeling stuck. I just get this feeling of maybe feeling stuck for quite a while. And I love that we have miracles here, because that to me is like saying like that's ending, like that stuck feeling, that out of flow feeling, maybe dealing with people that are out of flow is ending there. And I think that the urgent message is that it is ending. Like you may be doubting that things are ending, or doubting that you're going to be able to end something, or doubting that you're going to be able to move forward in some way that you would really like to move forward in. And I think that Spirit is saying this time is about building confidence and being able to move forward and make the next step that you really want to take. There is a step that I feel you want to take very much. And I am feeling like a doubt, fear, hesitation around taking that next step. And it could be born from wounding. Now, you are I'm hearing conjoining. You're conjoining the parts of you that tell you can't take that next step, or tell you that you're not good enough, or tell you that you like you can't make it, or that's not possible. That's ending. And I am, because okay, one of the other cards that was going to come in was the void, but I couldn't fit it. The void is about being in a place of like really like nothingness and darkness. And I do get that for a lot of you, you've been in a period of darkness and you're coming out of that. Again, that's not easy. I think you have had to really, I'm hearing buckle down, specifically buckle down into maybe what you really value, what you really want for your future, what the long term is with what you're doing now. I think that you're really seeing how each decision that you make is either helping you towards that goal or hindering you. And you may have been making a lot of steps that were previously hindering you. I'm seeing the Devil card. And you are now, because you're healing so much, because you're healing this aspect of you that was doing that previously, you're learning about how to make more loving choices for yourself from a place of alignment and a place of value instead of a place of wounding. And again, it's getting really broken down. I think maybe you had to really break this down. You had to maybe really break down why you kept making choices that were against you, or maybe making choices that felt good in the moment but really weren't leading you anywhere, or that were full of illusions, or full of people that weren't really taking care of you, right? And I think that you are finding a greater sense of self through this process. And I think Spirit really, one of the messages that Spirit wants to tell me is that this is what's happening, one. And two, you are conjoining very, very difficult aspects of yourself and having them be a cohesive unit. And that is not easy. That only comes through healing. That only comes through healing by seeing each part and really coming with compassion and curiosity and seeing like why that's happening and what's driving that decision making, or why you're doing that certain activity, or why you're using that negative coping mechanism, right? And you're really so much farther than you think you are. And I think that, again, flow is not so, if you were born and you had a childhood that was very out of flow, like you were not taught to listen to your intuition, you were not taught to when to rest and when to not rest, and when to balance things and how to balance things. And this can be a very difficult thing that to process and learn from. And I think that is part of this, was like about balancing. Like, what do I need to feel rested? What kind of time do I need? What place do I feel alive in? What place do I feel drained in? And that comes from experience. And I think you've had to have a lot of experiences that have been quite painful and quite out of alignment for you to even realize what your values are, because I'm getting that there's a lot of conditioning put on what you were supposed to value, what you were supposed to be like, how you were supposed to act, how you're supposed to show up, how much you're supposed to give, how much you're supposed to take, how much your worth is, right? And I think that you had to take off a lot of this conditioning to really figure out like what your actual values are, what your actual desires are, what actually makes you feel good, and what is not done out of a place of wounding, and what is done out of a place of wounding, right? And I just think that this is huge. This is really huge, pile 3. Like, you really are taking a lot of opposites. It really is. Like, you're really taking a lot of oppositional thinking, a lot of oppositional parts within you, a lot of oppositional parts externally to you, and learning about how to balance within all of that, and learning about how to hold it all, and learning about how to really give yourself compassion and joy, and like surrender, acceptance, and peace. And what was that word that was coming through? I can't remember it. I'm hearing enlightenment, but that wasn't the word I was thinking of. Really, like, giving yourself grace, giving yourself grace to move through this in the way that makes you feel like you can get up the next morning and feel good about yourself, right? I think that's been like a huge thing in this pile. It's like, how do I wake up in the morning and feel rested? How do I wake up in the morning and feel like I'm making the right choices for myself? How do I wake up in the morning and give myself what I need? And what is it that I need? Because I think that your needs and your values were, again, overshadowed by others' needs and others' values. Yeah, others' values. And I think that could have created a lot of confusion and a lot of wrong pathways. Not wrong, right? Like, not wrong as in like judging way, but wrong as in like what is right for you and your soul and your alignment and what you need to be doing for yourself to feel whole and aligned. That was really hard to find, I think, for some reason, for this pile. And you are finding it. It's just, again, you had to go through like so many different aspects of yourself that may have been wounded through previous situations to really get to this point where you're like actually now able to embody this energy. And I think you you're learning about how to embody it. And you're learning about how to, when you're not embodying it, how not to be hard on yourself, and how to meet yourself with curiosity and compassion for those moments when you feel like you're out of alignment. Because I'm telling you, I feel out of alignment a lot of the time, right? Like, not all the time, but a lot of the time. I have a lot of wounding. I have a lot of things I have to work through, right? I'm just giving you an example because I don't want you to feel alone, because you're not alone in this. Like, this is a very beautiful thing that you're doing, but it's also, again, most people don't do this kind of work at all. And I think you've had to really, again, confront parts and pieces of you that have been very hurt, scared, terrified. I'm getting like terrified. Like, some of you have had very, I'm getting a lot of like, I don't know how to say it. Very dark, deep wounding that people have done to you. Like ruthlessness, like the assassin. Like, if you think of like an assassin, right? They like basically kill you, right? Like, that's what an assassin does. And I think that you may have experienced a lot of, I don't know why it's coming through, mini deaths when you were a kid or in your past lives. But I'm talking about deaths that felt psychological, like a psychological death, or like a loss of control, loss of voice, loss of autonomy, loss of power when you were a child. And now you are confronting that piece, that part of you that may have felt like you died in some way and lost innocence, lost your voice, lost control, lost power, right? You're confronting that and saying, hey, like, this was not your fault. Like, I see you, I'm here for you. Like bringing love and awareness and light to that part. And that, I think, is helping you conjoin very, very wounded parts of you and integrating. I'm seeing just like an integration and a coming together of yourself. And because you're doing this, that makes the ego let go. Like you're having your ego let go in some way because of how much work you're doing on yourself. Now, some of you have had to really hibernate and go into like a deep reflective phase, like the hermit, going really inward and being like, okay, what is actually going on? Like, what do I need to do here to be okay? Because I get that maybe a lot of you haven't been feeling okay or haven't felt okay for a long time. And maybe you're starting to feel safe finally internally in a way that you haven't before. And I think that it's hard to trust internal safety when you have been externally unsafe and made to feel externally unsafe. And I know this by experience. And I think that your safety internally is hard won. And I think that maybe you're starting to see the like sparks of light of that internal safety that will only help you externally feel safe. A lot of the times when we have wounding like this, we look externally for safety because that's what we're taught, or you know, that's what we grew up thinking. Like, if I can make myself externally feel safe through money, through people, through a situation, then I will be okay inside. But if you do not anchor and go within and heal yourself internally and help yourself be your only anchor to feel safe, and you will not ever feel truly safe, even if all the external circumstances are telling you that you're feeling safe or tell you that you're safe, you will still feel internally like you are unsafe. And I think that this journey specifically for you has been about cultivating internal safety, cultivating internal peace, cultivating internal acceptance, and a love for yourself and a love for all the things that you've been through, even though they were freaking painful and they were so hard. Spirit is so proud of you. I can't. Like, it's a really beautiful thing. This is really beautiful to see, because this is like when you've been externally, if you felt really externally unsafe, then feeling internally unsafe is such a battle. And it's really beautiful to see someone fight so hard for peace and love within themselves, and it really wanting to heal, because I am feeling like there's just a want to, and just the resilience and wanting to heal and pushing yourself really hard to get to a place where you can feel safe, right? And maybe for a long time the external world was a very much big focus for you, and I think that you're really learning about how can I focus internally, because it doesn't matter how externally, how much I feel safe. I think that this is about internal safety, and this is about internal value and confidence, and really seeing yourself in a light that is whole, in a light that is truthful to you and who you actually are. Look how beautiful this self card is, and look how gorgeous all these cards are. These cards are you, right? These are you, and look how beautiful they are. And I think that you've, again, had to really dig deep to find the strength and the resilience to keep fighting for yourself, because I think maybe a lot of people have told you not to fight for yourself. Maybe you've been against yourself for quite a while, or have in the past been against yourself, and you're learning about how not to do that. And again, that is extremely hard to do. We have the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. Yeah, this is like you. I didn't put it on here, but whatever. The High Priestess and Six of Cups. This is like you intuitively looking at the past and seeing how the past is affecting your current day, and how you can heal the actual original wound of the past so that you can really be who you are now, and not be like acting out of a past wounding, right? Because that's what happens, right? If we don't heal the original wound will show up in a external circumstance in the now that looks exactly like it, or not exactly, it will, to you, it will feel exactly the same. It will feel familiar. It will feel comfortable. It will feel, but then you'll start saying like, okay, like actually though, is this comfortable? Actually though, is this safe? Is this actually comfortable and safe? Especially if you had a childhood that was not safe and comfortable, then you'll realize like, oh, I picked a partner, like I was just talking about a relationship. I picked a partner that is actually really unsafe and actually really toxic. And this is actually not what my values and what I really want. Like, this is not actually what I really want. This is just what my wounding was bringing me to, because it felt familiar. And how do I heal? Again, how do I go back and heal the original wound so that I can extricate myself truly, fully, and completely from this situation that's causing me turmoil? Because if you get with a person that's like your childhood, then, and it wasn't very good, then you're going to have more situations come up that are probably painful and wounded you in some way, right? Maybe trusting someone that didn't deserve to be trusted, and then you got really hurt, right? And that created its own pain. And it's like, I think you're working through, like, we have the Chariot, we have Cancer energy coming through. This is, yeah, again, creating a safe and stable home, creating a safe and stable home within you. Okay, what do we got? What do you want me to see, Spirit Guides? Anything else? This is really beautiful, you guys. Yeah, Seven of Swords. Okay. So Seven of Swords is all the ways that we lied to ourselves and tell ourselves we're not good enough or we're not seeing something clearly. Seven of Swords specifically can be another person actively deceiving us or unconsciously deceiving us. It can also be our subconscious coming up and acting out, and then we're not able to see it clearly because we're seeing it from a past lens, right? What's the Seven of Swords about? I feel like it's about the past. Six of Cups, but I don't know. Let's see what it comes. Oh, Five of Swords. Wow. Okay. So what I'm getting here is like, okay, so Five of Swords is about winning at all costs. Someone that comes in, doesn't really care about how anyone else feels, just wants to win. Really, it's really reminding me right now of like the celebrities right now who are kind of falling from grace, like Blake Lively, who took advantage and like just took advantage and lied and cheated and stole and, you know, whatever. I'm not talking about specifically about her right now in this moment, but whatever. It's not the point. The point is that this Five of Swords is really reminding me about people that tell you that you're not good enough, that made you feel bad about yourself, that made you feel powerless, that took your power, try to take your power away or make you feel bad about yourself. And now Seven of Swords being connected with Five of Swords, these are very deceptive energies, right? So the Five of Swords, which is like about a person or people in your life that have made you feel these things, loss of power, loss of control, loss of your voice, made you feel like you were too intense, too much, too little, too whatever, and it wasn't even in the truth, made you doubt yourself, right? Made you go into the Seven of Swords. Like now you're thinking like that. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm helpless. I trapped. I can't get out of this. I'll never be able to do this. I don't have enough strength. I can't, like, that's the kind of energy that I'm getting. And I think that through this, that's what you're realizing. Like, this Seven of Swords is not even mine. These thoughts that I'm having, this voice, one of the great things that you can do, if you have a voice like really berating you in your head, like telling you how horrible you are or how much you're not doing good enough or whatever, what this means, ask whose voice it is. And most of the time, it won't be your voice. It'll be like your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or someone else. Usually it won't be your own voice, usually. And then you can also ask, how old are you? That's another one you can ask. Okay. Whew. All right, let me see. What else? Queen of Cups. This have really affected you emotionally and broke your heart, whatever this is. And we have Queen of Wands. These situations that you were really wounded in that made you really question and doubt yourself were really tied to you feeling emotionally stable and you also feeling confident and magnetic and strong and powerful, okay? Heartbreak is between these two queens. The Queen of Cups is someone who is emotionally feeling safe, emotionally able to hold her own, really compassionate, really kind, really loving, really like just really flowing energetically and emotionally. The Queen of Wands is someone who is confident, magnetic, someone who really goes after what they want, does not care what anyone thinks, is really in her power and her charisma and her magnetism. And she's like, I'm going for this. I'm confident. I'm sexy. Like, I've got this. Like, that's Queen of Wands. So see how there's heartbreak? The Three of Swords is heartbreak, sadness, pain, thoughts that are just like telling us that we're not good enough, right? And we have these two here. So it's like you're realizing how much whoever this person is or whoever these people were that told you weren't good enough, that they created a narrative within you that made you feel bad about yourself, doubt yourself, made you feel like you can't move forward in some way, made you feel trapped, made you feel helpless. And that affected you emotionally and it affected your confidence. And I think that you're really looking at the pain of this. Like, wow, is this really true? Like, and how not okay that is. Like, how not okay it is that someone came and made you feel like that. And like, and you internalized it, right? As we all do when we're children. We all, like, if we're around somebody like this and we are a sensitive soul, or just even a person, a kid, we're impressionable, we're a sponge, okay? You're a sponge, right? So if you're around somebody that was like this as a sponge, you're gonna feel a knock in your confidence. You're gonna feel like you can't make decisions. You're gonna be confused about who you really are and what your values are and what you really want and how to move through the world. And I think that this has really affected you on a very, very, very deep level. And I think, again, you're excavating this. I'm seeing you dig this up. I'm seeing you really, really had to do so much healing, and you have had to consistently go through layer and layer and layer and layer of each piece of this to get to the point where you can really see it for what it is and really bring, again, compassion and light to this. And through healing this, now what's going to come online for you when you heal this? And Spirit's saying you are healing this. So like that's another urgent message. The urgent message is like, this is what's going on. You're healing it. You're doing so good. You are going to feel so much more emotionally stable. You're going to feel like you can stand in your power once you heal this. And you are healing this. You are. I promise you, you are. You are. You are. You are. You are. Okay. I really just I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. King of Cups. Let me see what King of Cups is about. We have the King and Queen of Cups here. What's the King of Cups about? The Hermit. I knew the Hermit would come out. Virgo energy. Knight of Pentacles. Four of Cups. Hold on, guys. I know it's all over the place. Hold on. Four of Cups. The Empress. Okay. Two of Cups. The Magician. And Six of Pentacles. Yeah. This also could have affected your ability to manifest. This could have affected your ability to nurture yourself. This could have affected your ability to have a healthy relationships with people that actually respect you. Some of you could have gotten in relationships with people that are emulating, again, this type of energy, this Five of Swords energy that I was talking about. Now, you're bringing look at the Hermit. The Hermit is bringing light to this whole situation. And the bear spirits, I was saying, really reminded me of the Hermit. Now, the Empress is about nurturing yourself. It's a very motherly energy. I think the advice here is to be as motherly as possible as you can to yourself. You did not deserve the things that happened to you. I just want to say it again. You did not deserve the things that happened to you when you were a child or in your past life or however you are connecting to this. You did not deserve the things that happened to you. And I know that you may have internalized this. Now, this is about seeing how you've internalized this, and not beating yourself up for how, if you've had manifestations go wonky, not beating yourself up for that, okay? Sometimes we have manifestations go wonky to show us what ingredients we need to take out or put in to make the manifestation actually better, right? Sometimes we'll have a manifestation happen, okay? And it will turn out like wonky or turn out like it's not exactly what you wanted, or it's half of what you wanted, or it's not fully manifesting into the whole full picture that you want it to, right? Now, what that does, having that type of manifestation go wonky, will help you understand what ingredient you need to take out to help the manifestation grow, or what you need to add in as an ingredient to help a manifestation grow. I think that some of you have had manifestations go wonky, and it was a learning experience. Every single thing here is a learning experience. If we could just all, and I'm talking to myself, if we could just all look at this as an experience, a learning experience, even the horrible things that we go through as a learning experience, or even the horrible things that we choose to do sometimes as an experience, and learn from it, then that's all that matters. There's a decision that you could be needing to make about, I'm hearing a relationship for some of you. What's this Two of Pentacles about? Seven of Pentacles, something that you've already put energy into. Something that you've already put energy into, but you haven't seen the seeds of, or you haven't seen the fruit of, you haven't seen okay, so the Seven of Pentacles is a card of putting energy in, okay? Put all this energy in, and you are just about seeing the manifestation come through, or you're not seeing it yet, and you're wondering where it's at. That's the Seven of Pentacles. So it's something you've put energy into in the real world that you're thinking about making a decision about. We got Five of Wands. Someone could be fighting you about this, and it's someone you've collaborated with. It could be a work situation. It could be a community. It could be a romantic relationship for some of you. I am seeing that. There's a decision you need to make, and there could be about if you want to keep putting energy into something. What is this? I feel like I need a little bit more information. Six of Swords. You're looking about either moving. You're looking to move to calmer waters. You're looking. Yeah, there's Two of Swords. I was feeling that too as well. Okay, how do I help them make this decision? What do they need to know to how to help make this decision? Protect yourself. There's boundaries that are here. Queen of Swords is seeing things with an absolute truth, seeing all of the different angles, and really coming at it with a very strong, logical, like analyzing it, but it's reminding me of being really protective of yourself. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, how do I help them make this decision? So they need to be in the Queen of Swords energy, which is protective, seeing the truth, not giving energy away as much, trying to be more objective about your situation, trying to see it from a higher perspective, looking at it from as much of a higher perspective as you can. I knew the King of Swords was going to come out. King of Swords. We have King of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Swords, Queen of Swords. So there is a relationship here and a counterpart here of some sort. Ace of Cups, 10 of Wands, and 8 of Swords. Some of you kind of have been feeling really stuck. There's Justice. I was wondering when Justice was going to come out. I'm sorry. There's so many cards on the table. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. Okay. This is the last one I'm going to do. We have 9 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Some of you could have been really stuck in your head over a situation involving another person. And some of you are still not totally sure about what decision you want to make. Some of you are looking to enter into a relationship with someone. Some of you are looking to leave the relationship. Some of you are looking to enhance the relationship. This could be a work situation for some of you. This could be a work situation, a community, a project. It could be a friendship. It could be a family member, and it could be just a romantic relationship, okay? So just put it where it applies. But some of you have been feeling quite overburdened with being stuck in your head over how to make a decision about somebody and what is justice. So the justice is what is the highest good of all for all parties involved. And what is most important is Ace of Cups. Like, how can you love yourself? How do you pour into yourself so that you can feel grounded? Because this is about being grounded. Like, if you're trying to make a decision about someone or something and you're feeling ungrounded and there's wounding getting in the way, try to be as grounded as possible as much as you can. I do want to get a little bit more, but what advice do you have for this? How do they make the decision? How do you help them keep your heart open? First quarter moon in Libra. We have more Libra, so that's double Libra. Justice is Libra as well. We have full moon in Virgo. Take inspired action. Give yourself time. Like, that's another one. Give yourself some time. Sometimes these things take some time. And it's like, give yourself time. You'll know when you are ready to know. You will know. Okay? And you have a lot of things you're working through right now. Like, you have so much on your plate, pile 3. Like, oh my goodness, you really do. You're working through so many things, so many like intricacies and complexities within yourself and within your relationships. Like, this is I'm hearing smorgasbord of stuff that you're dealing with. And also trifecta. Take a reality check. So, okay. Are you seeing the situation with clear eyes? Are you keeping your heart open as much as you can? And are you making sure to take inspired action towards yourself and filling your cup first? Because we have overwhelm because you are feeling stuck in your head. Try to do activities that take you out of your head as much as possible. I know that's difficult, but try to do that. And let go of some of the responsibilities. If you're feeling like you're consistently giving to things that are not giving you love, compassion, equal give and take, generosity, reciprocity, then like pull back. Because Queen of Swords was your main advice card. Queen of Swords. Yeah, Queen of Swords was your main advice card. And work through any feelings that you have about this. There's a lot of feelings that are happening. A lot of things that have gotten in the way. So I think that taking a step back could be helpful. Resting is definitely helpful because we have the Bear and the Hermit card. Nurture yourself and be as motherly as you can to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself for this process. This process is huge, huge, huge. This process is huge that you're going through. And remember that your thoughts are just your thoughts. They are not the be all end all, and they may be lying to you, okay? Especially if they're telling you that you're not good enough or that you can't do this or that you won't make it or that it's not going to be okay or that something bad's going to happen. Like, it's going to be okay. Everything is working out in divine timing, one. And you, again, this is all about your self-worth. And that is like a huge journey that I just can't. This pile made me so emotional, and I'm just so proud of you guys. You guys are you're working through something so huge. And this is like things that are going to be with you for the rest of your life. These lessons, these things that you're learning. And I think realizing that can be helpful. And just realizing that everything is a learning experience and that you are way more like ahead of yourself than you think you are on the healing journey. And it's not going to always be so difficult if you are having a difficult time. Okay, pile 3, I think that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys next time.